Okay, good morning class. So at this point we're looking at algebra, we're looking at factorization, correct? At this point we're looking at, we did the perfect square trinomial. We're doing factorizing trinomials today, not so? So this is examples for exercise, what is this? Exercise 1.17. And 1.17 is on page, sorry, 24. However, the examples that we're looking at, the first example is on page, sorry, 23. Right. So factorizing a trinomial. At this point, you guys are familiar with factorizing of trinomials, not so? So, firstly, we know that it will factorize into two terms, two binomials, not so? So, what we do is we list the factors of the coefficient of x squared, as we are asked to factorize x squared plus 5x plus 6. So, on this side of the barrier, I put the factors of 1. So it's 1 and 1. On the right side, I put the factors of 6, which is
1 and 6,
2 and 3. Do we add or subtract our products?
Add.
We add it. Okay, why? Because the last term is positive. Okay, we did this last year.
Yes.
And we did a lot of it. Not so?
Yes.
Okay. So we must add. So 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1. If I add it, I get 7. What am I looking for? 5. 1 times 3 is? 1 times 2 is? If I add it, I get?
5.
So in other words, my factors I'm looking for is 1 and 2, 1 and 3. So it's 1 and 2, 1 and 3. What about our variables? It will be x and x. Not so? 1x and x is the same thing. What about our signs? Same signs or opposite signs? Same signs. So it's going to be plus and plus. Okay. So the first thing we do is we write down our factors. Not so? That's number 1. So make a note there. The first thing is we write down our factors. The second point is we determine if we're adding or subtracting the factors. If this is positive, we add the products of the factors. And if that is minus, we will subtract the products of the factors. Okay? For those of you having problems with this, refer to last year's lesson. I've done all the rules for the grade 9s. Okay? It will be found in the description box below. Okay? Okay, so we add the products, irrespective if that is positive or negative. We're going to add the products because of the last term is positive. The third step is the signs in the bracket. Okay, it's also dependent on the last term. If that is positive, both is going to be positive or both is going to be negative. And which one do we decide on? The middle term tells us which one of the two. That is why I went with positive. If that middle term was negative, then both signs in the bracket will be negative. Okay. So in that case, both is positive, and the variables you guys can plug in. Okay. Any confusion at this point? Any questions? Hand up. Okay, let's look at example 2. Example, you told me 2 seconds, my God, more than 3 minutes. You see, that's why I didn't want you to go. We missed you when you were gone. Alright, let's look at the next one. It's example 2. Not so? And example 2 is on page 23. You just let me know when you change this, no? Let's look at the next one. These are examples for exercise 1.17 on page 24. It says factorize x squared minus 12x, x squared minus x minus 12. Where do we start? We start with the factors. Now there's many ways of breaking up your factors. Not so, some of you do that with x's and then you put your factors on top and the bottom. And there's more than 3 or 4 ways that I've seen students use, okay? I just use this, it's a bit easier for me. So, the factors of 1 is 1 and 1, I put it on the right side of the barrier. For 12 is going to be 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Do we add or subtract our products? Subtract. Why? The last term is negative. Okay. The last term had to be positive, I would have added. So 1 times 12 is 12. 1 times 1 is 1. Subtracted, we get 11, not 1. Okay. 1 times 6 is 1 times 2 is 6 minus 2, 4. Not what I'm looking for. 1 times 4 is 1 times 3 is. Subtract, you get 1. And that's what I want. So that goes in the bracket. The 1 and the 3. And the 1 and the 4. What about our variables? X and x. So there goes in x and in x. What about our signs? Different signs. 1 plus 1 minus. The bigger product must be. So if 1 plus 1 minus, the bigger product takes the sign of the middle term, which is negative. So which one is the bigger one? 4x or the 3x? So the 4x must have the negative sign. Not so. There's negative 4 plus 3. Because if we multiply this out again, I go x times x is x squared, x times negative 4 is negative 4x, plus 3x minus 12. Can you see that? And that's how I get negative x squared. A negative x. Does it make sense, people? Any confusion? No? Look at example 3. Example 3. Where do we start? We are asked to factorize x squared plus 5x minus 6. X squared minus 5x plus 6. Where do we start? Start with our factors. It might seem easy now. You'll say, but why am I going through these factors? Because we can see 3 and 2 or 1 and 6 in this case. Not so. Why? Because when it comes to tomorrow's lesson, we're going to use that rule extensively. Because we won't always be able to see what the factors are. Okay?
Yes,
So just get into the rule today, okay? So what are the factors that must go on the left side of the barrier?
1 and 1.
1 and 1. For 6? 1 and 6. 2 and 3. Do you add or subtract? Subtract. Why? The last term is negative. Okay. So we said we subtract. So 1 times 6 is? 1 times 1 is 1. 6 minus 1 is?
5.
5. And that's what I'm looking for, the middle term. So it's 1 and a 1 and a 1 and a 6. The 1 and a 6. Okay. We don't need that 1 in front of that. What about our signs? Different sign. 1 plus 1 minus. So it takes the sign of the bigger product takes the sign of the middle term, which is positively. Which product is bigger? 6x or x? 6x. So the 6 must have the positive and these the negatives. Right, you guys understand? Right, let's look at the next one. Example 4 on page 23. Right, here the problem starts, no? This looks a bit different to what we're dealing with. Not so? What's the difference here to what we're currently dealing with? Sorry? It's not in the form of a squared plus ax, rather say, not in the form of x squared plus whatever x plus the constant. Let's call that c and b. Okay? Not so. Not in that form. So what must we do? Let's get it in that form. So which term must go first? A squared plus 6a minus 26. Let's hang on now, that is what we're familiar with. You guys understand? Yes. You shake your head now. Oh, you say yes. Okay. So what goes on the product line? 1 and 1, yes. 1 and 27. 3 and 9. Do we add or subtract our products? We subtract. 1 times 27? 27. 1 times 1? 27 minus 1? 26. What am I looking for? 6. 9 times 1? 1 times 3? 9 minus 3? That's what I want. So it's a 1 and a 3, 1 and a 9. So it's a 1 and a 3, 1 and a 9. What about our signs? Different signs. Not so? 1 plus 1 minus. But the bigger one must take the sign of the middle term, which is positive. So that's going to give you 9a and that's going to give you 3a. So the 9 must be positive. It's positive 9 minus 3. Okay. Let's go to the next one. This was example 5. People, what's the difference here? Sorry? Yes? Page 24. Thank you, Michael. Right, so what do we do first here? Common factor. This is a common factor of 6. What's wrong, Michael? Yeah, but the commas do it now. Okay. The question is to factorize 6p squared plus 24p minus 30. What do you notice here? 6 is the common factor. So common factor overrides all type of factorization. So you can take out the common factor, you do that first. So you got 6 into p squared plus 4p minus 5. So now this, inside that bracket here, we are going to factorize using the trinomial rules. Okay. So let's cover that quickly. Minus 5. So what goes on the line? 1 and 1. Why? Because of the factors of p squared. For 5, 1 and 5. Do we add or subtract the products? Subtract. So 1 times 5 is? 1 times 1 is? 1 minus 5 minus 1 is? And then we can see 4 is in the middle term. Can you see that, people? So in the bracket goes 1 and a 1, which is a p and a 1, a 1 and a 5, which is p and a 1. What about our signs? Different sign. Why? Because the last term is negative. And the 1 plus 1 minus, and the bigger product takes the sign of the middle term, which is in this case positive. So that is 5p, and that's going to give you 1p. So the 5 must be positive and the 1 must be. Okay, you guys understand? Any confusion? Okay. Right, let's carry on. This is part of the sum. Huh? This is example 6 now. Yes, okay. Still part of this exercise, né? Right, so what do we have here? We have to factorize 24 x squared minus 10x plus 1. So what goes on the line here? 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8. 4 and 6. So all the factors of 24. Alright, for 1? 1 and 9. Do we add or subtract the products here? Yes. We add them. Why? The last term is positive. So I'm looking for 10. And there's your 10. 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 6 is 6. 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay. So let's go. So it's going to give us 4 and a 1, a 6 and a. Can you see that the factors of 24 is first? That's why I'm writing that first. Okay? What about the variable? X and an X. What about our signs? Same signs. Both is going to be? Okay. Any questions here? No? Right, is the example 7? No. So that's the last of this exercise. Okay, is that correct? So with this you should be able to do exercise 1.7. You do the 1.17, you do the first column. Okay. I'll call you guys up row by row now to ensure that you guys understand what's happening. The 1.18 is on page 26, I think. Just check there. Page 26? The 27. 1.18. 24. Okay. I'll stop the video at this point.